clean some oxygen not included. I'm currently using a couple mods to make the game a bit easier because I am terrible at this game. And I am trying to get to the point where I can have a colony that survives and does rocketry and stuff. Because this game is fun, but I don't play it nearly enough. Mainly because it's a lot. I'm currently getting my second engineer so that I have enough operating tasks and stuff being done when I get my industry like set up. And I'm just giving them all the positive traits because I need every benefit. Do I have a missing early bird? I think I do. No, okay, I've got everything filled. Kind of sleepy today, but I had enough energy to kind of talk to myself, so I figure I might as well stream. I haven't really been playing a ton of like games where I can be showy offy, so I haven't really felt the need to like stream. I've mostly been playing this or like Kingdom 2 Crowns when I'm tired. Hello Fireback, how you doing? I'm currently creating the most OP possible engineer. Oh yeah, I've got to give them Grace Monkey. Let's make them cry. There we go. And you're gonna be my engineer. Number 2. I named them after their job, so it's easier to remember. Yeah, I have like a funny setup that I've been working on just for like when I'm streaming. So you're witnessing the POV of playing on the computer, and then I am trapped in a 2D dimension on 2Fort. Yeah, and then I've got the little chat. I don't know how readable the text is on the chat. I might need to make it a bit bigger. I also, below the monitor is where reactive will be, so if I'm playing with people, I can have their portraits there. And whenever I'm like BRB, I can just do this. This is my room. If I had like a 3D model, like VTuber thingy, I would put them in the chair, but since I currently am just working with doodles, I figure I'd be relegated to the 2D dimension. And also, if there's any technical difficulties, like I need to pull up this so I can fix stuff, I can send you to the hyena screen. It's very cool. If you want to work on something like this, it's free on Steam. It's called Motion Studio. It is very cool. They have a bunch of tutorials. It's very simple to get into. You don't need to be like goated in Blender or anything, although that helps if you want to make your own stuff. Oh yeah, I could probably... I was thinking of like... because I'm still tinkering with it. This is like my first iteration of the room where I'm just making everything like look very like slapped together through a bunch of artwork, a badger, a bat, you know. But I think if I put like a bunch of like effort into it, I'd like to make like a kind of engineer's like workshop or like a garage type thing. The monitor does... oh yeah, it's because like the prop for the monitor on this app, the only monitor prop is like not a good resolution. It's like I think a 4:3 or something resolution, or like a something not exactly like 16:9 or 16:10. It's like 16:7 or something like that. So I'm like, I'll just work with what I got. If I can like make my own props for it, I can definitely make it look a bit cleaner, but this is kind of like a proof of concept, I guess, as I decide to like put more stuff onto it. But it's very nice. Yeah, no, I appreciate the feedback, because like the way I've got it set up, the screen on OBS is like small, so I can't actually see what it would look like full screen until I like finish the stream and then go back and watch the VOD. Also, how's the audio sound? Because I've got like music playing, but I've got it like sidechained, so whenever I talk it should duck, so I'm not being, because sometimes I just am tired and I'm just mumbling and I don't want to like have that be muted by like dubstep and shit. Yeah, I think on the right side I might add like a clipboard or like some kind of like, you know, like those cork boards that you put like notes in with pins. I might put something like that on the right where chat is, so chat's actually like on a piece of paper, like on a cork board with like a pin on it. I think that'd be kind of cute. You can't hear the game. Oh, okay. I might need to turn, okay, if I turn the game, oh, I think it's because I've also got the game, I'm alt-tabbing a bit, which turns off the game volume, and I've also got the game side-chained as well, just because if I'm playing something like TF2, where it's like quite often overstimulation from just explosions and screaming and whatever, I've got that side-chain too, but maybe I need to lower the side-chain a bit. If I turn up the game volume, can you like hear it? If I just have it like resting like this. A phone. Oh, that's yeah, that's clever. Like just have like a little phone there and chat is on the phone, like chat is like messaging. Oh, that could be cute. Oh, that's giving me ideas now. I want to make like a custom like font for the chat display, so it looks like it's coming through like a old like Nokia like flip phone or something, and it's coming through as like green background, like black text. Oh, that would be fucking cool, but that's gonna take some work. Yeah, I could definitely do like just a simple like phone or like iPad screen. That could be fun. I definitely want to have some like streams at some point where I'm like either working on the rig or like drawing new emotes and stuff. I just need to like find the time. It's nice having like a little like setup for it, I guess, like just stuff to work on. So yeah, in this game right now I've got the oxygen machine, so I've got some water coming in from my water supply to make oxygen to power the suits, so now the duplicants shouldn't die if they get exposed to like, you know, a cool steam vent. I should probably give that a higher priority just because it's creating a lot of heat around here. Or going down to the oil area. I kind of don't want to put a bunch of polluted and salt water in the oil biome, so I'm just pumping this place out, and then once it's clear I'm gonna like make like a little like liquid lock area here and then go down, because I don't want all this heat spreading to the rest of the base. I've had that before where I just cut down into the bottom of the world and then mine out everything and then like cycle 200, 300, whatever, like the whole bottom half of the map is just hot from the just heat spreading. Yeah. For like the rig, for like the stream rig or whatever, I kind of want to like, yeah, make it look like I'm in a garage or a workshop or something with a bunch of like doohickeys. Like if you ever watch like Doctor Who, like inside the TARDIS where like there's just a bunch of knobs and dials on it, and it's like I want something like that. That would be really cool. Because like this app, the Motion Studio, gives you a lot of integration stuff to work on, which like I haven't figured it out yet, because looking at it, like let me just pull up the Motion Studio thing. If I go to like the interactions area, it's one of those things where you can set up like processes and connect the other processes together, and it's like, it's kind of making my brain explode just looking at it, and I haven't even like done anything with it. But you can basically like rig it up to be like, has someone sent a chat message, make it do this. So like, for instance, I've seen one rig that someone has with this app where basically they're in a house that's in like maybe a bomb shelter or something, and then like anytime someone raids the stream with like 10 or more people, it makes it look like a bomb just goes off and like dust and stuff comes down from the ceiling, like, oh shit, people are raiding me, and the whole like room shakes, and I'm like, that shit's crazy. That stuff looks like really hard to do, but also worth it. Yeah, that looks fun, but like I don't know how to do that yet, so it's like something to like work on eventually. Just set these to not harvest so that the pips can eat them. Yeah, one of the other things I wanted to do was like I got like an oscilloscope application because I love oscilloscopes. Wait, why did this go? That's weird. Oh, it's because I made the back wall and it probably got rid of that tile. Okay. I got an oscilloscope, which basically is like one of those things where it will create like a 2D like shape depending on like the sound that's coming through it. So if you play like a synthesizer and you play like a square wave, you can see like the shape of the wave, and if you set it to 2D mode, it creates these cool shapes. There's these videos on YouTube of using oscilloscopes where they make the oscilloscope do different shapes using like the sound, and like I wanted to like have it just react to like the music I'm listening to and just make a thing. I couldn't figure out where I could put it on the screen that made sense without it just being like, oh, it's just a weird scribbly line. Okay, like the window, yeah, like that, where like it's just like, yeah, you see all like the weird spinning lines and whatever reacting to the music. It's like that, but like each like sort of like square wave, saw wave, or like what's the other one? You can they've got like a set shape. So if you're listening to a lot of like chiptune music, it will like create these kind of like cubes kind of shapes spinning around, and it's very cool. So I was thinking like once I make like a garage or like sort of mad scientist's lab type like room, I could have like kind of almost like a, what's it called, the like a lava lamp type thing, like, or like, you know those static balls, like the balls that like you see like a bunch of electricity bouncing off it and you put your hand on it and it like has a little static beam go to your fingertip, like something like that in the corner with the oscilloscope on it, so it's like creating all these weird shapes to the music. I think that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff to work on. It's just like fun stuff to be like, today I'm gonna work on this. Like good like depression cures, like I'm gonna make this today. Okay, I need to pump out this water. When this water is clear, I'm gonna go into the oil biome, get oil, steel, plastic, whatever, so that I can start on industry. I've got this little mod that lets me plan areas of little dots. This area below the base is going to be my factory area, and this area above the base is where I'm going to have all my ranches. Ooh, have I used this? No, I haven't. I'm going to give my researcher, my scientist, a massive headache. Inject him into the League of Legends machine. No, you have to play ranked with randoms. Alright, complete the process. What'd they get? They got Sunny Disposition. All that League of Legends made everything by comparison less stressful, so now all their stress gets reduced. Oh nice, we got warm coats. And snazzy suits. Who hasn't already got a suit on? Engineer, you haven't got a suit. You can wear the yellow snazzy suit. I'll give the farmer a warm coat because they're likely going to be going in these like cold biomes to get like the sleet wheat. Where art thou, Mr. Farmer? There you are, Miss Farmer. And then the supplier, I think you also get one too. Nice, nice. You want to see a big thing I did on game? Sure. Are you in the Discord? Can you like put it in one of the like image channels, like the art and creative channel? Oui, oui. Ooh, natural gas. Yes. Oh, someone is trapped? Oh no. How did you get... Oh, they probably got there inside mining. Well... I see why you're here. There's no stone. Yeah. So let's do high priority for this. This. Yeah, this is gonna be a bit of a track, and let's just save those. All hands on deck, team, before miner suffocates. I guess they've got their suit on, but they will definitely pee themselves, sadly. The problem is, there's like a setting you can have where you have like proximity priority, and this is mostly good so that like if you set something like mine this and someone's coming by, they'll like do it because it's nearby. But like the downside of that is that like I'll say, hey, you guys need to do this, and these guys are like, oh, you need to do the ladders? Guzzle these ones first. Sometimes these duplicants are silly goobers. I guess they don't need to do this first, they just need to do those two. They can come down here. I didn't see that. So here's the law. I've recently shaved all my beard. It was like 30 centimeters long, but I left my mustache, and my nephews love Sonic Hedgehog's the greatest. Oh my god. That Dr. Robotnik! That's amazing. I still need to see the Sonic movie, but that looks good. Love the Sonic games. Sonic! Snooping as usual, I see. That's great. That makes me want to get like a fancy mustache. Crisis averted. Person needs to go pee-pee now though. Which means as soon as I take off that suit, piss everywhere. Hell yeah. Oh, it's great. Wait, why did they make a mess? Camera return. Made a mess. I'm confused. I don't see where the mess is. I guess it got instantly cleaned up. Hopefully they didn't pee immediately in the pool. I did make the newbie mistake of making a ladder go straight down to the water, where if someone makes a mess, it's going to go straight into the water supply. Ah, it's fine. They went dressed in full Sonic merch, even under a hat. Oh my god. That's cute. Yeah. I do want to move this eventually, because I want this whole area to have like factory stuff in it. It's just like when I'm building the base, you know, you have like a water deposit here, water deposit here, water deposit here. You're like, I might as well conglomerate them into the lowest one. And this just happened to be the lowest one. And I was like, this is a good framing for the base. But later on, I'm going to move out all this water into another spot. And, oh, is that a lone power bit? There we go. move it all into like a different container area, so it's not going to be there forever, but it is significantly in P danger right now. I could fix that by just locking this, but this area is kind of contained, at least. Like, looted oxygen can come through here, but I do have some deodorizers here. I've been kind of trying out some polluted oxygen tech because usually when I play this very like safe, because like slime lung used to be like a colony killer, but then slime lung's no longer really that bad. But so I'm like kind of afraid of slime lung a little bit too much. The piss waterfall. So what I'm doing is like having a bunch of polluted water, off gas, polluted oxygen, and then putting a bunch of deodorizers everywhere so that it just makes me free oxygen. So I don't have to spend as much water and algae on getting a bunch of oxygen. I've never played this game. Seen some game footage. Yeah, this game's oxygen not included. It's very fun. It is one of those games where I would say, this is a bit of a games journalist meme to say, I'd say this game is like Dark Souls, but not in the way that it's like, you know, action RPG, you're gonna die, you're gonna dodge and stuff, but like, this is the computer science or mathematicians Dark Souls. Like, it's a game that you'll start, you'll play, you'll be like, this game's fun, this game's cute, it's a nice little colony sim, and then you'll die because you ran out of food, you ran out of water, you run out of oxygen, your base got too hot and all your plants died, and you're like, okay, I don't know what's going on. And then like, I've got like, I think 900 hours in this game. It took me the first 400 hours of just playing it without looking anything up and being like, this game's fun, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm having fun. And then like, after that, I'm like, okay, I wanna look up how to play this game now, because I want to see what being good at this game looks like. And it's just about, it's like Excel spreadsheets and like algebra and being like, so I'm using granite for my insulated tile because it's got a higher thermal conductivity and a specific heat capacity of 0.800, and just stuff that, like, if you're a casual player, don't worry about these numbers. Just look up a build online like this. This is a self-powered oxygen machine. I didn't make this. I copied a design someone else made because I'm not that smart. And there's a lot of like pre-made designs out there that you can like copy for things like this. Here's an incubator where you can put critter eggs in, and like you use some power to incubate them so they grow faster, and then you have more critters. That's good, right? You just put the egg in there. Wrong. No, these actually consume like 240 like watts like a second. So like, as long as this is like on and like incubating the egg, you're like burning through power, which is coal in this case. So I have this complicated automation setup that waits until a duplicate stands on this pressure plate to like interact with the egg to like give it a lullaby, and then like wait for that duration to have the power on, and then when they've left, wait like a cumulative like 600 seconds to then turn the thing back on, so that while it's off it still has the lullaby bonus, but it's not consuming power. And it's like, this stuff doesn't make sense at all if you're a new player, but once you play the game a bunch, you just find these optimization things that I'm like, I would have never discovered this. Thank you, random German computer scientist on the internet, for telling me how to make an optimal setup for this. There's like stuff like, you know, you can burn coal to like get power, but instead of just burning coal all the time, you have a smart battery, so that whenever you're burning too much power and like the battery is full, it turns it off, so you're not wasting power. The game is ultimately a gas management game where you've got a bunch of oxygen, they exhale carbon dioxide, which builds lower down because it's heavier, and you need a way of dealing with that CO2, otherwise it's going to choke out your base and people are going to run out of oxygen. It's Sims meets Stone Starve. Yeah, exactly. This game is actually made by Clay. It's made by the same people that made Don't Starve Together, and like, yeah. So this is a very good game. It's been out for years. It had like constant updates and DLCs. I still haven't played the DLCs because I still haven't beat the base game. This game is hard. Or at least it's hard for me. It might be like easier if you're like quicker to like pick up on things, but I'm not very good at learning things very quickly. There's also like science and tech tree and stuff. Let's research high art. Isn't there geothermal energy that is infinite? Technically, yes. You can, like, if you drill down far enough, there's like volcanoes and like lava and stuff, which you can make into geothermal power. It's just by the time it takes a while to get to that point. And it also takes like a lot of materials to make geothermal power. Like you need steel and plastic to make the steam turbines. These things. I won't actually let me place it because I haven't discovered plastic, but yeah. And to get to that point, you need to already have like an established power grid. So the main thing is just using a bunch of different like power. So you start off with coal. Actually, you technically start off with like a little hamster wheel that like the duplicants can like run on to like get power. I think I've still got one down here, yeah. So they can run on there to get power, and that's gonna waste duplicant time, but it's gonna give you power. Then you get coal power, and then you got stuff like natural gas geysers. I've got like one up here that I haven't harnessed yet. You've got like petroleum generators, which you can get by like getting the oil and then turning it into petroleum, and then using the petroleum boilers, petroleum generators to get power. And you've also got solar power. You can crack out into space here and like build solar panels that use the light from space to give like a consistent amount of power. So there's a lot of different power options, but it's just like you need to progress to that point. You can't like immediately start the game and build solar panels because you need to get outside and then also build a way of protecting them so that asteroids don't just immediately destroy it. Do things deteriorate like the hamster wheel? Some things, but not like everything. Some things deteriorate if they suffer damage, like for instance, these hydrogen generators, they get hydrogen coming in here. The atmosphere is like hydrogen up here, oxygen down here, because hydrogen is lighter. I end up learning a lot of physics and chemistry from playing this game, which is nice. I like learning things. But if you were to pump, like if you were to just like have this but not sealed, and like this polluted oxygen came in and the polluted oxygen got put inside, it would damage this machine by having the wrong gas going in. Other things deteriorate because of damage, like for instance down here in the oil biome, it is quite warm. It's 85 degrees centigrade. You can also change it in the options, so you can have Celsius, Kelvin, or Fahrenheit depending on your preference. I use Celsius. And if you put a building made of, say, copper down in these temperatures, the building's going to break. So you need to have it made of gold or steel or something that has a higher... I don't know what the fancy science word is. Not a higher melting point. Like it, if you... there's some things that work better at high temperatures and some things that work better at low temperatures. Like I think lead is good for lower temperatures and steel is better for like higher temperatures. Yeah, I use Celsius because I'm European, but also because it's like, it makes sense even if I was American, because it's like the scientific one. I don't even know anything about Kelvin. I think Kelvin's the one they use in space, which I guess makes sense because we are technically in space. We're in like an asteroid. So I could see the appropriate one for this game being Kelvin, but I don't know anything about Kelvin. I know a little bit about Fahrenheit just from being friends with Americans, so I'm like, okay. It's based on like temperature relative to humans, that makes sense. I could see being accustomed to that. Sure, let's give you advanced doctoring degree, just in case. It's good to have a backup doctor. So, usually I'll have like a colony of 12 duplicants, but for this run I'm going for 16, just because I feel like I need more builders to get stuff done. So my current colony, I have builder number 1. I started the colony with 1 builder, 1 miner, and 1 researcher. Oh yeah, okay. Ads. Ads. Twitch does that. I tried to turn off ads, but it doesn't let me, so I just have it set to the minimal amount of ads as possible. Oh. 0 in Kelvin is the lowest temperature physically possible. Okay, that sounds low. Okay, Oh, did I give this person the wrong skill? Give them advanced researching instead of operating. Oh well. I can get a skill scrubber or something. I don't think I've built that very often. Uh-oh, Stinky, you go in the skill scrubber. The skill issue scrubber. So there's no negative Kelvin degrees. Okay, so like Celsius, it's like you can have like really hot, but then if you go into negatives, it's like really cold. And I think Celsius is based on freezing point of water or something like that. So is Kelvin just positives? It doesn't go below 0. Okay. I could see Kelvin if like I was like a science like major and like I learned Kelvin in school, and I was playing this game, I could see Kelvin being like the only like viable temperature to use, like the nerd temperature, the nerd scale. Engineer 2, you go in the skill scrubber. I haven't actually seen this machine work in a while. Yes! So they added a bottle filler in like one of the recent updates. I don't remember when they added this. And it lets you just like put water into like a thing and then it immediately comes out as bottles. So the researcher now just needs to go get the water from here instead of coming all the way down here, which is nice. Some little conveniences. Put them in the machine and shake them. Do I have to turn this off, or does it just... Okay, it just does. They get shaked for an entire day, I guess. That's funny. Celsius is based on water, 0 for freezing point. Okay. I didn't know 100 was a boiling point. That's cool. So it's like... It isn't that it's just like, oh, it's like coincidentally like it was based around that. Because I like science and math and stuff, but like I went to school where you don't like learn a lot of that stuff. I went to like a school for like people with like learning disabilities, so it's fun like later on in life doing like science games and stuff like this and learning about like chemistry and physics and stuff, even if it's like very simplified and reductive. Okay, cool. They got the skills shaked out of them. Wait, did they? Or are they still in the machine? Oh, there we go. Get shake. Man, all that shaking made me hungry. Alright, cool. You take operating and then electrical engineering. Janitor, you can get that. Oh no, it's a bot. I have to get on my actual like account here. Alright, I'm taking that viewer and putting them on a rocket so they get to sent to this asteroid to work in the coal mines. I've already had one builder die, rest in peace. They did not build the ladder right next to them that they needed to do to get out and survive. Sad. Usually I'll put like the tombstones like in the kitchen, or not the kitchen, the this area here, so like they can eat alongside their fallen comrades, but I didn't have enough room. Yeah, little dance. I gave myself a lot of room here to like work on like stuff, because mainly because I've got like a bunch of ranches in here for now. I want to slowly move all the ranches like up here at some point, and then I can reuse this space to have like private bedrooms and recreational rooms and stuff. Like I need a place to add in the arcade machine. Wait, there's gonna be a bunch of fluorescent, isn't there? That's fine. There's still a bunch of slime lung floating around, but kind of fine. Hey, what are you doing out of your cage, mister? I can probably like wrangle you back to the yeah, all you guys. Just because they're starving. I've been using the pits to like wildplant, so you can like grow some stuff in this game using like plant pots like this, but then they'll like cost resources like dirt and stuff to fertilize, which eventually you might run out of if you're playing this game like long term. But there's this little animal, a pip, they're like little cats that can climb on walls and stuff, and you can get them to like plant plants by like giving them seeds, and they'll like place it in the ground, and then those plants don't need any resources to be fed to like grow, aside from these bristle blossoms which need light, so I gave them like a light area. So I'm just like moving the pips around to like plant plants to make farming a bit easier and cheaper. Sir Kelvin, when calculating the least amount of energy an atom can have, came up with, oh, so Kelvin's named after someone, that makes sense. Minus 273.15 Celsius, and from there on it's 0 in the Kelvin scale. Okay, that sounds very cold. That sounds a little bit nippy. That sounds like I don't think you could go out of a t-shirt in that weather. I think you'd need like a woolly hat at the very least. In practicality, we have tried to achieve the 0 Kelvin temperature in lab, but it's theoretically impossible to achieve. So is it one of those things where they can only get it to like 0.2 Kelvin and they can't go any lower because it's like, what the fuck do we use to cool this? We put in like our coolest guy wearing sunglasses and slick back hair, like snapping his fingers, and it couldn't get any cooler in there. So they're out of ideas. Oh, YouTube pausing my music again. Oh yeah. Let's dig out some of these spaces to mine and get the sweet wheat. This is granite. Let's try to keep a lot of the heat in. One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one can be this. This. Yeah. Okay. Adding some insulated tiles in here just to... This biome is generally quite cold, but over time, if it's exposed, the temperatures between this area and this area is going to mix, and these sleet wheat need to stay cool. This is basically one of the really strong like food sources in this game, because you can use it to make bread, which you can use to make buns, combine it with barbecue, make some burger. Burger is like a good food source. Oh, this person's already got themselves stuck. I'd say these duplicates aren't very good in terms... They're basically like lemmings, if you ever played that old ass game, where they'll do the task that you give them. You can't directly control them. You can give them priorities. So like, if someone's like good at mining, I'll give them the priority that digging tasks you're gonna do a lot. But they will put themselves in situations where they're gonna die, and you kind of have to hope that they don't, or come up with quick reasonings. But also you're oftentimes distracted in this game, so it's like, oh, go do this thing anyway. I'm gonna go back to building this Hydron Collider, however you say it, over here. Oh wait, you come back. Oh, he's dead. Like you're spinning a lot of plates in this game. The lowest temperature ever achieved in a laboratory is approximately 38 picokelvins, 38 times 10 to the power of negative 12 Kelvin. I'm going to pretend I understand that. Yes, stroking my chin. This is equivalent to 0.0, a lot of zeros, 0.38 Kelvin above absolute zero. Absolute zero, which is 0 Kelvin, is the theoretical lowest possible temperature at which all atomic motion ceases. Okay. So... yeah, okay. So... I'm trying to see if I have anything I could say about that. Like, So, okay. Atomic motion. So is... when things get colder, atoms move slower, right? Is that why water turns to ice? Like the atoms just stop moving so they become solid? Okay. I feel like that's something that should be immediately obvious, but I've never put those two things together. It's like, oh yeah, water and ice exist. Ice exists because it's cold. Why does water turn to ice? Because it's cold, that's why. You know? You just hear things are said and you don't know every minute detail of why. You know, 2 + 2 = 4. Why? Because 2 + 2 = 4. I can't explain further. And then you have some math wizard say 2 + 2 actually equals 5, and I'm going to be like, I can't argue with that because I literally don't know. So sure, okay. They don't fully stop, but they move. Okay, so it's like they move to the point where they're basically stationary. Like they'll move like a very small amount. I was trying to think of a measurement smaller than like a millimeter. They move a atomic millimeter in like the time it takes for a human to die. Let's spawn in something that might be helpful. Metal is always useful. Nice. Okay. What to work on next? Skills. Yes. So my colony's got 16 people. We're going to learn rocket piloting, even though I don't know if I can get to the point where there's rockets in this game, because that shit is way above my capabilities right now. So my colony has 16 people. We have a builder, a second builder. We did have a third builder, but they died. So now we have a fourth builder, who's technically the third builder. We've got a chef, a doctor who is also an artist, because those are two jobs that are like sometimes useful. Like a doctor hasn't got much things to do when people are all like up and working and not sick, and an artist hasn't got much to do when there's no paintings that need to be painted or sculptures that need to be made. So I figure I might as well just have them be like a doctor who's also an artist. So he's kind of like that fucked up surgeon guy in BioShock, where he's gonna do some creative recreational surgeries. We got an engineer who does operating tasks like managing machinery, like machinery that crushes rocks into limestone, and foundries that turn iron ore into metal and steel and stuff like that. And then we got a second engineer because eventually there's going to be a lot of machines that need work done. We got a farmer because there's a lot of plants that need to be planted, and also a lot of things existing in the world, like little biomes. Like this area grows wheat. This area that's got like different gases. Like everything's color coded in this game, which is very helpful to the eye. Like these blue things are cold. Green is like polluted oxygen or polluted water. Blue is water. White is salt water. Pink is hydrogen gas. Green is chlorine gas. You don't want to breathe that in. It's not advisable. It doesn't instantly kill them, thankfully, but it does make their eyes hurt, and that makes their action speed slower, and it makes them upset if they just tank it directly. But you do get these little plants that like live in chlorine, and these plants that live in hydrogen, so you want to have like either maintain the natural area, or if you're going to mine it all out, because look these shiny bits here, if I move the screen up and down, this is like iron ore in this biome. In the green biome there's like gold. In the starting biome there's copper, but I've mined out most of it, so you can see like a little bit of copper here, and like some copper here from where I was turning into like wild plants and stuff. Trying to move it so you can see the shimmer. It's kind of hard to see. There we go, there's like some shimmer here. Yeah, in different asteroids you'll get different metals. There's one where instead of copper you get aluminium. I haven't really tried that one yet. And if you unlock rocketry and you go to space, you can come back from other planetoids and get metals and materials that aren't native here, so you can get some more useful stuff. So yeah, like having a farmer is good because, you know, I want to keep a lot of these sleep wheat intact for now, at least until I start running out of space to build, and then I can like kind of build my own like synthetic like farms in places. Like see, like the farmer runs across, harvests the sleep wheat, and then delivers it back so that it can be cooked into stuff. I've got a janitor. They are specialized in tidying related tasks, just so if there's any like messes on the ground, any spills, like they can clean it all up. All this like extra stuff that's on the ground they can like pick up and like put in its appropriate boxes and stuff. Yeah, the biomes are really cool. It reminds me of like Minecraft, or actually it's more like Terraria, because this is like a sort of a like an this game is basically an ant farm, but like nerdy. It got a balloon. I think one of my duplicates has like a trait where if they're happy they make balloons for people, and that's really cute. There's a lot of duplicates kind of just standing around, and I'm a little bit worried why they're doing that, because they should be doing stuff. Are my suits working? Yeah, they've got their Atmo suits. This is a little bit of a headache to get running, but I made these little space suits. They've got the little like astronaut like fishbowl hat, which is cute. They look like Sandy Cheeks from SpongeBob. I made this self-powered oxygen machine. It takes the water from my collection down here, puts it into an electrolyzer, electrolysis to make the hydrogen and oxygen. The hydrogen goes into the hydrogen generator to repower the machine, so it's self-powered. And the oxygen, which is the main thing I want, goes into the suits, so that when they're leaving they have a suit full of oxygen, and then when they come back they drop it off. This game is one of those games where like if I'm like feeling really tired or like sick, I'll play this game just to like stare at this, and it's just mesmerizing just watching them run about doing their tasks. But also it's like a game you need to play when you're thinking, because if you just sit here staring at a certain point, stuff's gonna break, because you need to be always working on stuff. You've only got a limited amount of water, you've only got a limited amount of metal, you've only got a limited amount of oxygen. Like you're juggling a bunch of plates at once. But you can realistically get to a point where you're sustainable and you can kind of just leave it and like AFK for a bit and just like everything is fine. And then there's like stuff you can do beyond there. Oh, they're dancing. I'm kind of wasting food a little bit here. Like they're just leaving the food on the ground there. I think it's because I'm out of space. I think one thing I need to work on, I'll wait until I move. So okay, I want to make a factory area here. Maybe not exactly here, maybe a bit low down, because I want to keep this wild farm. I want to make a ranching area here where we have all these little alien critters. Like these guys, the hatches, you feed them dirt, like you feed them like sandstone or granite or sedimentary rock, or just like rocks that you find by mining, and they excrete coal, which you can use to power coal generators. So they're a pretty good like critter. Like there's a lot of things in this game that are like sustainability is like this giant flowchart where one critter eats dirt and then poops out coal, and now you can use coal to make power. But long term, you're gonna mine like hundreds of tons of stone, but unless you have like volcanoes, stone isn't renewable, so you will run out of stone eventually. if you rely on coal as your sole fuel source. So ideally you want to move to stuff like natural gas or oil. You have like oil down here. You can get oil wells where you can renewably get oil by putting in water. But then that comes into, can you get renewable water so you can get renewable oil? Well, you can when your duplicants go to the bathroom here, it requires fresh water and they output polluted water. And to make a plumbed toilet, you have a loop like this where the polluted water goes into a water sieve where it gets turned back into clean water. It doesn't get rid of the germs, but you don't need to worry about that too much. Apparently it doesn't have any negative side effects if they clean themselves with germy water, but maybe that's the thing they'll change later on. But for now, don't worry about it, it's fine. You can just wash your hands with grey water and black water, it's fine. You can make showers as well, but I didn't make it because I didn't have enough space. But the problem is, because they're also eating food, they're actually, there's a little bit more polluted water than there is clean water in the system now from them peeing in the toilets. So if you just have a closed loop like this, eventually the pipes are going to back up because there's more polluted water going in than the water is coming out. Which is why you have a system like this, where it goes through here, it goes to these like liquid pipe connectors, where it would go in white and it comes out green. And it will take the bridge as a priority route. So when it comes through here, if it can go there, it will go there. If not, it will go down there. So this is the top. The top priority is to go through the water sieve. If it's backed up and they can't go through it, like you can see it going here, instead we have this plant here, the thimbleweed, which you could also see like around here. These are grown naturally in the wild, where they can just deal with themselves on their own. But if you wanted to grow them yourself, you need a hydroponic farm and you need to feed them polluted water in order to grow it. So if you wanted to get your own thimbleweeds, you can get them pretty quickly. It's just, how much polluted water do you have? Oh, you have a bunch over here? That's going to run out pretty quickly if you don't have a renewable source of polluted water. But for this kind of loop, where you have a toilet loop and you don't care what happens to the polluted water, you just want to make sure the toilets are running, the toilets running is the priority, then any excess polluted water that is created can just go and feed this thimbleweed. It's going to stop growing when it runs out of polluted water, but it's not going to die. It's just going to like wait until it has more polluted water and then carry on growing. So you can have this loop that is a self-sustaining bathroom loop, but also gives you thimbleweed fiber, which you use to make Atmos suits or canvases to make paintings, or some cases like carpet later on in the game. You can get like somewhere on the research tree, down here, you can get some like textile like carpet and like make it like a pretty like decorated area. I love how silly it is. The concept of a double door was thrown in favor of puddles. Oh yeah, you can make airlocks, like proper airlocks, if you want to, using like a ventilation thing where you go into an area, it then has a duplicant sensor that will be like, detects duplicant there, closed door behind them, vent atmosphere in the room, and then when atmosphere gets to a certain level with the Atmos sensor, unlock the other door and then go through. But the problem with that is it takes so much time for them to go through, and it also takes a lot of power from constantly venting the atmosphere, that it's easier to just have something like this where like they go down a staircase and then go up a staircase and it's flooded with water so that the atmospheres on either side are separated. Yeah, it's funny. It's just one of those gamey things where like, this wouldn't work in the real world, but it's working. Also, the way the water works is kind of like, it's a lot more viscous. It makes me think more that these duplicants aren't human-sized. These are like ant-sized duplicants. We're actually looking at an ant farm, because the way the water moves viscously makes it look like it's like they are very, very small, and the surface tension of the water is like way bigger. Because if you see the water like pouring, I mean, water physics in games is going to be quite like difficult to do, but like, look, there's kind of like, it looks like there's some serious surface tension in just this bit of water. It looks like a blob. I don't expect a game like this to have realistic water physics, but it does make me think that these characters are just very small for the amount of surface tension in that water. There's 8 idle duplicants. That's bad. What did I do wrong? Okay, I need to pause. Why are there 6 idle duplicants? My first thought is the only way they can leave is by putting on a suit. Do the suits have enough oxygen? Yes. I think. They have enough suits. They should be able to go on there. Are the duplicants stuck anywhere? So this one, they can go back in, but they can't leave because I don't want them, like... If they have a way out of the colony that doesn't involve putting on a suit, then they will be like, oh, I need to handle this cool steam vent that's outputting water at 400 degrees centigrade. I'm going to do that without a suit because you gave me a route out without wearing a suit. So you kind of need to baby-proof the base and be like, all right, let's fucking... You can only leave if you put on this suit. So I've like locked that door. This door only goes out this way, and this way you can't go out. So why are there duplicants just chilling? Are all the jobs done? That's actually a good question. Are there like... Have they done every build project? No, there's like... Alright, yeah. Deconstruct that. I'm actually confused right now. I don't know why a lot of them are sitting around. Maybe I just need to give them more projects to do. Alright, project. Excavate this ice biome while keeping something sleep. This is on snow, and snow is like sand in Minecraft. It like falls. So you need to keep that one up there or like replace. I guess if I even did that, it would fall and break the wheat. Just like real life. Engineers have to idiot-proof everything. Yes. Except I cannot account for the creativity of idiots. I don't think anyone can. So this is my big water tank right now because this area got filled with water. I want to... I think I might just stop drilling through here because I'm wasting a lot of time waiting for this to empty. This is made of granite, so I'll make the ladder out of granite. Nice, I've got the tank. This is abyssalite, which is a material specifically for this game, and I want to retain as much of it in the world as possible because it has an interesting quality of... It has a, where do I see this? A thermal conductivity of 0. So you can have somewhere like this, which is a biome that has about an average of 85 degrees centigrade, next to a biome with an average temperature of -6 degrees centigrade right next to each other because abyssalite doesn't exchange heat at all. Like 0. So I want to retain as much of this as possible just to stop bleeding of like heat between biomes and killing off their like natural flora and fauna. So when I dig into the abyssalite so that I can go down, I want to retain as much of it as possible and then try to like set up like airlocks and stuff, which also have like reduced, like it blocks gas and liquid going through it even if like you send a duplicant through. So you could have like a room that's like got like chlorine gas in it, and you could put an airlock door and that will stop gas exchange going through, but it's like not 100%. Sometimes there'll be a little bit of leakage, which is why we use the water thing. But the idea is like I want to reduce the amount of gas exchange. I think an ad just played. God damn it. I wish I could turn off ads on Twitch. Oh. Degree and centigrade for temperature is nice. Yeah. There is even a saying in natural reserves that engineers use when designing trash that can't be ravaged by animals and still be used. Yeah. Like stuff that's like biodegradable, like the biodegradable like straws, but also ones that don't immediately fall apart when you're using them. I wonder how they designed those, because like that must be a headache. I'm just gonna have it go through here. I kind of want to do lower because I don't want to like have leakage between this, and this. I just want to have potential only 2 areas. So maybe just here. Also need to get some power lines coming down here. Oh my god, is that the Goofy movie? We've got a little regular wire coming down here for now. That should do for now. So it should be something like this. This. And then put points here. And then also put some insulated tiles there. I want to mitigate as much heat exchange to future-proof it a bit. I don't need to bump up that task. Trash cans? Trash cans, yeah. Yeah. Especially if you've got like animals like raccoons or whatever that will like go into trash or rubbish bins to like get food and whatever. You don't want it getting like destroyed. You also don't want to like trap it if it's like food and then it gets stuck. I believe the saying goes something like, there is a non-insignificant gap between the intelligence of the smartest bears and the stupidest people in favor of the bear. I can understand that. Yeah, I've seen some very smart animals, especially like crows and hyenas. They're very smart, and there aren't some very smart people. It's very smart people, myself included. I think people are like intelligent in different areas, and I think common sense isn't particularly common. Ooh, a poke shell. This is a cool critter I want to ranch at some point. It like feeds on like rotten, like basically like rotten food and like polluted dirt, basically like sort of compost essentially. It eats that, and then it like, its body is like a sieve, and it excretes sand. And like the water sieve up here can kind of like basically does the opposite, where it uses sand as a filtration system and then filters the polluted water into water, but then turns the sand into polluted dirt. So like, since later on I'm gonna have a bunch of systems where all the machines that create polluted water I want to sieve back into regular water and put into my supply, I'm probably going to end up ranching like a couple of these poke shells so that all the excess polluted water that I'm getting I can just like drop off into their room and they can eat it and then filter it for me. It's kind of cool. I kind of just need any liquid, I guess, so I might as well just like build a liquid pump like here. Use the nearby material, granite. And that way I can just pump any water here and then dump it into there. It's already kind of got a bit of a liquid lock to it. I need to, I think I broke a block I wasn't meant to. I should have kept that one intact, but I can just put some up here. There we go. And now I can horribly pollute the environment. We love to do that. It's very poggers. And start digging into oil land. Woo-wee! We struck oil, baby! So this whole biome here, I think, is going to get fucked a little bit. Just because this area is so hot. I mean, this area exists at a little bit of a higher temperature. This is like 40 degrees Celsius. This is meant to be like a beach, like saltwater biome. Hence the crabs and the salt water and the sand. It's also like hydrogen here for some reason. Maybe it's, I wouldn't even say it's that hot that it just made hydrogen on its own. I think it's just normal. One of my crops is dying. Is it the piss plant? Who wants to have the sweater made out of piss? I mean, it's recycling, I guess. Crabs? Yeah, there's crabs, the poke shells. They're kind of crab-like. Yeah, these guys. They're pretty cute. They got like little eyeballs on the top, like little eye stalks. You like feed them compost and they filter it through their body and excrete sand. They also like the shells that they what's it called? They molt shells like every so often, and those shells can be collected and like ground into like limestone, which can be used to make steel, which is very useful. So it's nice to have a couple poke shells as your friends. Yeah, there's like a rancher job in this game, which is all about like caring for the animals and like feeding them and stuff and petting them. This would be like a good game for like my playlist. Why is it stopped? Okay, there we go. Don't you know, pump it up. This game would be a good game for like, I've seen like some streamers who like play this game a lot, like name the duplicates after like subscribers and followers and stuff. But I'm a little bit neurotic in that degree where I don't think I could do that, because if your duplicate died, I would feel like I personally killed you, and that would not feel good. But if I were in a better head state to do that, I would probably give you the crab ranching job. Let me set the priority to build a ladder. Okay, our idleness has gone away, so I think it was just that all the generic jobs were like done. So like people were just like, oh, no mining to do. Rock and stone. Alright, start mining down into here. What's this material? Igneous rock. Let's make these ladders out of igneous rock. That way, this is a bit of a noob mistake I made a while ago, which is if you're telling them to build a ladder, ladders are made out of stone. Use the nearby resources as the material, otherwise they can get into a situation where they like are stuck and they can't build the ladder because they need a stone that isn't there. But if they've mined an area, then it's easier to build the ladder, because it's like mine down there, oh rock, ladder, mine down there, oh rock, ladder. So it just makes things a little bit quicker. But it is a bit of a headache, because you have to then be like, all right, this is granite, this is igneous rock. You have to just keep checking where you're going to build your ladders and what it's made of. Do I have access to plastic to print now? Don't you know, pump it up. You've got to pump it up. I don't have it. I get more iron though. Iron's always good. These are shine bugs. They're very bright, which is why this area has got like a really high light level. They're kind of a cool symbiotic predator. So they don't really... Well, they eat phosphorite and bristleberries. Bristleberries are these ones down here that grow from bristle blossoms, and bristle blossoms need light, hence why they like suddenly died when the light turned off. But these shine bugs eat the bristleberries and produce light. So in nature, when you find them, they're like coexisting with each other. Like this grows a berry that is eaten by the bug. The bug lives, creates the light, and then grows the plant. It's very cool. I like seeing stuff like that. Sadly, they don't create a lot of light in an area, so I have these backup like lamps to like light this area. But usually, if you want to grow bristle blossoms yourself, they consume a lot of water with a hydroponic farm. But if you plant them like wild using like pips, you plant them on the rock, and they'll like, you don't need to feed them anything. They'll like grow. They'll just grow like 3 times as slow, but it's like slow and free, which is like eventually a late game when you've got all the stuff you need set up for like running your colony. You can set up a wild farm, which is you like take like a whole area, like say over here that I'm not using, and then you have pips like plant like just a whole block of like sleet wheat, and then you have machines that automatically pick up the sleet wheat when it's like done, and then you can just have it fully automated, and then you have like a big storage area where your cook can just be making like burgers all the time. And like high quality food gives them more morale. If you go on like the skills tree here, like giving them like a skill that they like, see the heart here, means that like when they gain more skills they gain more stress, but if they're doing something they like, then they're not going to get stressed as much. So here they don't really like supplying, so they're going to get a point of stress. But I have all these positive green things because they're in an area that's got like really pretty backgrounds. They've got artwork, they've got like high quality food. The chef is making them like omelets and burgers. Later on though, when I move out all these ranched animals into the ranching area and give myself some more space, I do want to build a thing that's a little bit complicated, at least for me, but it's like amazing for the colony survival, and that's like a deep freezer. So currently I'm just using like this little pit here, and the reason why I made it look like a pit is so that it builds up some CO2 at the bottom, because there's not really airflow or wind in this game, so you can kind of just have CO2 pockets. And food that's in CO2 is a little bit more like, it lasts a bit longer, like it doesn't rot. And there's some stuff here in the refrigerator. The problem with using a refrigerator though is it doesn't guarantee, like it still makes it so the food lasts longer, but it doesn't like keep it forever. And it also takes a lot of power. Like it's taking 120 watts like constantly to like keep it running. The idea is like later on I build a room that I have a cooling loop with hydrogen gas that's reducing the temperature of the room to I think below 40 degrees centigrade, which in the game is the point in which if food is in an atmosphere that doesn't have germs and is below 40 degrees centigrade, it's considered, I don't know what the term they use is, but it's considered cold enough that it just keeps forever. So ideally you make like this big industrial freezer where you put all the food that you make in there and then automate it so that like anytime someone wants a meal, it like is like requesting burger and just pulls out the burger from the deep storage and then drops it off in the like canteen. And they're a bit complicated to make. Complicated enough that I haven't made it already, so I need to wait until I get some more parts and more space. But it's probably something that like if you're smart in this game you could probably get one up and running early. And yeah, you can basically just have food like forever. I think you like liquid lock it in an area, so like you know how we have like this. Actually, like I did something like this with, so I have a little bit of water here to stop these shine bugs from like leaving. Mainly just so that when the rancher wants to take care of them, it takes less time for the like bugs to like go over and like go to the bench to be groomed because they're already here. So I just have this area to keep it here. So you use this physics of like the viscous high water tension water just stuck here to like have a pocket where like all the food is, and it's being kept at like below 40 degrees centigrade, and it's also got a chlorine atmosphere or something, which thankfully doesn't make the food taste bad, but it kills off any germs that could potentially be there from food going stale. And it basically like gives you like ultimate food sustainability where you can be making lots and lots of food to the point where like you see up here it keeps track of, I don't know if the text might be a little bit too small for this, but it says I've got 200,000 kcal, and it like keeps track of my total amount of food in my colony in calories, just because it's like each colonist eats I think 2,000 calories a day or something like that, just to make it simple. And you can play on like difficulties where they have a higher calorie requirement, but I just have it set at 2,000 calories I think. I'm losing my train of thought right now. Yeah, you like, if you can get to the point where you're making a lot of food and the food isn't getting stale, then you can get to a point where you have like 200 million kcal like at the top. Like you've got like 500 tons of barbecue in the freezer in the back that's never gonna go cold, never gonna go bad, and you just always have like food available. And that's like the goal, but it's like hard to get there. There's a lot of like skill curve in this game of like getting food sustainability, getting oxygen sustainability, getting heat sustainability. You know, like these coal generators, I shouldn't really be having them in my base because they create like, see this flame that shows that it's something that's creating heat. It's like the duplicates are like warmer. It's like this electric grill is creating heat as well, which is why I have this, where I have a water pump here that's pumping up water, having it loop around the base, and the water here is collecting the heat in the atmosphere and then dropping it off here. So if you actually turn off this here, this side of the water here is 23.8 degrees centigrade, while this side is 24.3 degrees centigrade. So the water that's being picked up and then dropped off is very slowly changing the temperature as it's picking up. You can also do it this way. Here I can check the pipe. Contents of the liquid water is at 23.5 degrees centigrade, and I go to the outside of it, is at 24.3. So it's very slight, but it is picking up like temperature that is in this area that's being created by these machines, and then slowly getting rid of it. It's not a long-term solution, it's a short-term like band-aid until like this pool of water gets too warm that it's like not really going to work. It's going to start actually putting heat into the area. And that's why I also future-proof this spawn by putting pipes here, so that when I eventually get steel and plastic, flint and steel, to make a cooling loop using steam turbines and stuff, I can then connect up all this stuff together and then cool it. Because there's like this weird thing in this game where it's weird in like a game logic way, where I feel like they kind of needed it to do that for it to make sense in the game. Oh god, I got more idle dupes. Have they already done the jobs? I think they did. God damn it. Where basically you have a cooling loop like this with water, but instead of just dumping the water out, you have it be a closed loop, but it goes through this machine called an aqua tuner, which is this thing, which you put water in, and it comes out, and it takes the heat from that water and then dumps it into the area nearby the machine. So you can have it be like, fuck it, this room is going to be really hot, and have an aqua tuner just like dump all the heat from the water into a space. But then if you have that in an insulated tiled area where there's going to be very little heat spread, and then you have a steam turbine in a room, and that room is also filled with water, that water is going to boil into steam. The steam is going to be absorbed by the steam turbine and turn it into power, and this is how you essentially get like geothermal power, where you use the heat that you get from the base as like a kind of pollution, like a heat pollution, and then you turn that into a resource by turning it into power while getting rid of the heat. So it's like you're using that system to get rid of the heat, that's the main thing, but you're getting a silver lining where you're also getting power in the process. So it's just a net positive outcome, which is very cool. So ideally you want to have all these machines that are creating heat. This is why I've also planned out this area here. This is where my industrial area is going to be later on. I need to mine a lot more metal though. There's a lot more, and I also need to do all this mining to get oil and steel and plastic and all this other stuff. So that like I put all my machines that are making heat, like this thing down here. This is another short-term band-aid. This is a metal refinery. It requires you to put a coolant in there, and then the coolant gets dumped out. And this is my my hubris here. So the water comes in here at 32 degrees centigrade and gets dumped out here at 42 degrees centigrade. So this area was originally like the same temperature as this, like 31, but this has gone up to 34 centigrade. So this is just like a quick and dirty method of refining metals, like early on, where get the coolant from the nearby water. Oh, you got some hot water now? Just dump it in the sea. It's fine. Nature takes care of itself. But ideally, later on, you want to make like a big self-contained area where the heat is being put into an aqua tuner, which is then being put into a steam turbine, and the heat is being deleted while also creating power. And you have all your machines that are creating heat in one spot, so that there's minimal heat leakage. And ideally, you know, you got some variety of like temperatures here. Ideally, you want everything to be in the green, where it's like a livable temperature for you and the plants, because if the place, like this area is already generating a lot of heat from the electrolysis, like this creates quite a lot of heat. It's 51 degrees centigrade in there. I put like some insulator tiles which you can see are resisting it, but these airlocks aren't like ideal. I just had to use the airlock so I could get in and out if anything broke. But yeah, it's one of those things where ideally when I get the cooling loop done, this area is going to cool down quite a bit. Oh, that's a lot of yapping. Cookie gets exosuit training. Supplying exosuit training. Yes. Also, this is the best part of this game. There's a little helpful robot you can make called Sweepy, and they're basically like a Roomba, and they basically walk along like a fixed path. They can't jump like up ledges or go across gaps or anything. And if anyone drops anything on the floor, they'll like pick it up and like collect it for you. So I put that here so that if anyone like comes out of the like airsuit, atmosuit dock with an item and they drop it on the ground, Sweepy will pick it up. And also if anyone like got stuck outside for too long that they like peed themselves inside their suit, if they take off the suit here, this place is going to fill up with pee, so Sweepy's going to deal with it. So Sweepy is the most important part of the team right now. He's carrying the colony on his back. Oh, you're getting too close to that ledge. Oh, they nearly fell off. Yeah, they're the best character, and the developers of this game need to make a toy that I can buy of Sweepy, because I would buy 10. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. This is my gas setup so that like, because this place is relatively like self-contained in terms of like gas, because carbon dioxide is way heavier, as well as I think chlorine is also heavier than oxygen. I'm learning all this from playing the game, and also look, there's some chlorine gas there and some CO2 below it. I have this little system here where I have a gas pump that vents all the CO2 into space, because I mean, you can use CO2 for some things, like you can use it to make carbonated water, or you can use it to feed these little balloon-like creatures that consume it and turn it into oil, but I don't have those yet. Wait, all this, oh my, what the fuck? Liquid carbon dioxide? How cold is it here? Negative 46 degrees centigrade? I didn't know carbon dioxide turns into a liquid. Okay, that's another thing about this game, is that once you get past the point where you're playing this game to survive a colony, you can also play this game to just test physics and chemistry to its limits. And yeah, apparently you can make liquid carbon dioxide. This is the first time I've seen this in this game, and that's kind of scary to me. Yeah, this is where I usually dump carbon dioxide into space, because I don't need it right now, and it's just a pollutant. It creates a lot of heat. It fills up the atmosphere. We don't have to deal with greenhouse gases in this game, thankfully, because we're in space. But I'm dumping it into space, and it looks like in the process some of it is not actually going into the vacuum of space, but some of it's also condensing into liquid carbon dioxide, which I didn't know was a thing. I assumed carbon dioxide was one of those things that goes from like gas to solid or something and doesn't have a liquid state, but I don't know anything, so I was just kind of guessing. But yeah, liquid carbon dioxide, that's a thing. Okay, apparently that's a thing. Interesting. I wonder if it has uses in this form, or if it's just dangerous. Because carbon dioxide is already a little bit like, we don't want that. But liquid carbon dioxide, I wonder if that's useful. Because there's DLC for this game where, you know, once you get to the point where you're like, I can manage a colony, I can make it so they don't starve and have all the power they need, I can build rockets into space. You know what you can do in the next DLC, Spaced Out DLC? You can have multiple asteroids. You can have 5 bases at once or more, and use rockets to send back and forth resources, and then it becomes an infrastructure simulator of like, can you keep up the like interstellar infrastructure which sounds really awesome, but I still haven't gone to the point where I've done rockets, honestly. And like that's going to be far away for me, I think. But that's cool. So like you can do things like, oh, I need like liquid hydrogen to make jet fuel. Let's go get this hydrogen here and then expose it to space in a pipe to make it cold enough that the hydrogen turns into liquid hydrogen, and then put it in a rocket and then it goes really far. But yeah, that's stuff you can do. I don't know how to do it, but you can do it. Oh, there's like a weird machine here. I don't know what this is. It's probably magic science, just like real life. It's using crystals. I'm assuming it uses geo energy to cool gases or something. There's dry ice in real life. Wait, is dry ice made out of carbon dioxide? I assumed that was just like, you know, they call it dry ice, but like, I assume it's like ice, but just like a couple extra steps, you know? Like, I didn't know it was like made of something different. Like, oh, dry ice is like where you get like an ice cube and then you like flash heat it in a frying pan, and now it's like cold on the inside but hot on the outside, or something, you know, something like that. But carbon dioxide into an ice cube, that's kind of crazy to me. Like, isn't dry ice what they use for special effects? Like, it mists up an area and stuff. Like, they use it for like stage performances and stuff. Because it, like, I guess my question out of that is like, carbon dioxide is something that we breathe out. We can't really breathe it. So like, is dry ice like safe? Question mark. Like, if it's made of carbon dioxide at a colder temperature, when it's off gassing carbon dioxide, is that safe? Or is that like, yeah, it's like, it's not enough that, you know, like, it's not like mustard gas or chlorine gas or something where it's gonna punch you in the face really hard. It's like, it exists, but it's like not gonna do much to you. Liquid CO2 is not possible in ambient pressure. In real life, you basically only have solid and gas. Okay. Because it doesn't melt, it evaporates from solid immediately. Okay. Wait, so... yeah, okay, so I was... wait. So liquid CO2 is a thing, but I'm imagining the space between existing as a gas and then existing as a liquid and existing as a solid. Like, the space between existing as like a gas and a solid is like more than a liquid. Like, liquid is a very specific temperature and then it just jumps between one and the other. I'm guessing with zero with zero credibility to back it up. I'm guessing. And it's not that dangerous unless you have no oxygen. Okay, so it's not, so it's like, if you're in a room where you're only in CO2, it's bad. But if you're in a room with like 30% CO2, you're like, okay, I'm having a little bit of trouble breathing, but I'm not gonna die of poisoning. Okay. There's a little bit of salt water that I didn't want in here, but that's fine. Let's do a little bit of mining. So I want to keep all this abyssalite intact. But I basically, all these crude oil are in like a small space, and if they're given a bigger space, they're going to expand because they're kind of like compressed. And the only reason why they haven't spread out is because they're competing with all this gas. So I want to mine out a big area, also because there's fossils here that I can turn into limestone, because I mean there are some stuff that we can excavate for archaeology, but this stuff not really. We also have diamonds, which are useful for making some higher tier materials later on, like our diamond pickaxe and our diamond armor and our jukebox. And there's iron ore, and there's also lead, I think, down here as well, which is very good for kitchen equipment. I want to have like a plate and a cup made of lead. I think that'd be really a good idea. I say jokingly. I'm gonna be like the TF2 mercs and have lead poisoning, or like a medieval blacksmith. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like to space them out like this just so things are a little bit more uniform. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just start mining out. and try to retain this abyssal here. You see there's like obsidian here from, oh my god, look, okay, look at these temperatures. So this area is at 89 degrees centigrade, which I think is like, that's close to the boiling point of water from what you said before. I think if you existed in this temperature without an atmos suit, your skin would boil. I'm just gonna guess that this is danger territory. But down here where we got lava, this is 1612.5 degrees centigrade. I think the 0.5 is really adding a lot to this. But yeah, this is just instant death, I think. This is like your body is melted. This is literally melted stone. And I know lava and magma in real life is really hot, but there's something extremely intimidating about just seeing like a reference point, a point of context. You know, this place is chilly, it's negative 30 degrees centigrade. You might need to put on like a coat. You can't wear a t-shirt in this weather unless you're like really durable or Canadian or both. This place is a little bit warm. Aside from the hydrogen gas, I think this is like tolerable. This is 35 degrees centigrade. This is like what it's like to live in a house in summer in England because there's no AC anywhere. But then this temperature, 1616 degrees centigrade. I can't even fathom that level of temperature. 15 degrees centigrade, that's quite nice. 20 degrees centigrade, that's a little bit warm. 25, I don't like that. 30, oh, that would be awful. 1616? Like, there's nothing I can say to describe how hot that must be besides I don't think I'd even feel it. I think I'd be dead instantly. It's just, there's something terrifying about, like, I can notice it in small degrees, but it going up to 1,000, like, I can't. I'm lost for words. That is just ridiculous. But yeah, we can use this as a resource. I don't want to because it's scary, but we could theoretically. I mean, I could just mine through here and be like, hey, we have magma now. But that's gonna very frequently, very aggressively push the heat spread through here. And I think if you put water with magma, it's not like Minecraft where you're going to make a cobblestone generator. I think it explodes. I think the water flashes to steam like so quickly that I think it would just explode and damage the area. Also, I might be wrong. I could be wrong. But I think this temperature is so severe the water might actually just break into oxygen and hydrogen. I'm just making a guess, but I think that might cause problems. And then the heat plus the hydrogen might just explode on its own. So I'm just scared. This whole mantle here that is keeping the lava from me. I'm just gonna leave that there. that's anyway. We don't have to worry about that. We can just pretend it doesn't exist while we go and do our mining. Rock and stone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got an oil well hill here. Nice. So oil reservoirs are the ways we can get sustainable oil. So once we've collected all the oil here, just give me some space to do some mining. The dwarves of this colony are going to be happy. It's like, yes, we can dig deeply and greedily. Rock and stone, fuck all. Rock and stone. I'm gonna keep this little bit of ground here though, where this is. But yeah, we can put an oil well on this oil reservoir, and we can put water into it. The water is irrecoverable at that point, so you lose water, but you gain a renewable source of oil. You can then either use a where is it? Refinement. An oil refinery to like boil off the crude oil into petroleum, but it loses about 50% of its mass in the process, and then you use the petroleum in a polymer press to make plastic. You can also turn nectar into plastic, which you can get from bees, but bees are on a different planet, sadly. You can't separate water by temperature. You have to do electrolysis. Okay. In my brain, I was imagining that electrolysis is just like a car engine where you put in the water and then you give it enough temperature that it just separates. But I mean, it's called electrolysis, so I'm imagining it uses electronic magical doohickeys to do that. But I don't actually know how an electrolyzer works. I just know that in this video game, you put water into it, you give it power, and it separates them both. But I was assuming, like, because like in this game you can make a thing called a petroleum boiler, where because oil refineries not only give you 50% of the mass when turning oil into petroleum, but they also take duplicate labor time. Like you need to have a duplicate work on a machine to do it, which like wastes their time when they could be doing other things. You can make a petroleum boiler, which is one of the craziest things ever in this game, which is you basically use an extreme heat source, like, I don't know, the bottom of the world, or in some cases a volcano, where I think I have a volcano somewhere here. I think this is actually a volcano. Yeah, this is a volcano. And you have a volcano creating a lot of heat, and then you use the heat from, you basically have a coolant system picking up the heat from the volcano. In the process, it's turning the lava into like the magma into lava, and the lava into like freaking, what's it called, like obsidian and like sediment and stuff. And it's taking the heat and then running that heat through the oil until it basically just boils into petroleum at a 1-to-1 ratio. And it's a more efficient way of getting petroleum, but it's crazy. You have to harness a volcano. It's like the most supervillain thing ever. Like, I'm going to take this volcano and use it to boil oil. It's like the coolest and most weird and crazy thing. And like, I feel like if I heard a scientist say that they were going to do that in real life, they might get arrested. It's like, this probably has scientific merit. I literally have no reference point to tell you if it has scientific merit, but it also sounds really, really awesome. So you use that to get petroleum. You then put that into a petroleum generator, which creates a lot of heat. It also creates carbon dioxide and polluted water. Polluted water can then get sieved back into water, and the water can then be put back into the reservoir, and it ends up making more water than was originally put in the reservoir to get the oil. So it ends up being a water positive cycle. So it's a whole bunch of words, a whole bunch of yapping, a whole bunch of time to build a loop like that. But once you do, it gets to a sustainable point where you can get renewable oil, which is like probably the coolest thing ever. Like, imagine if in real life we had more oil infinitely. We could just ruin our atmosphere even more if we had infinite oil. That's like, this game is basically an industrialist's like wet dream. You can build like a infrastructure for oil and natural gas. You can liquefy the natural gas really cold if you want to for better storage, but I use exploits so I can just store it in one spot, like in a small amount of space. And you can build a bunch of like automation and solid shipping, kind of like little conveyor belts that move stuff around. You can separate them by temperature, but it's super inefficient. Okay. Like, I'm just imagining, like, I don't know the process, so I'm literally just guessing. If you put water, like, you just, like, dropped water, like, a large quantity of water into magma, like, I'm imagining it doesn't just flash into steam. It probably also flashes into hydrogen and oxygen, because it's just that hot. But I literally don't know. I'm just thinking, like, it's such a ridiculous temperature difference that it might, like, it's not just going to evaporate. It's going to do something else. It's going to be spicy. Like, it's probably going to explode. Ooh, lime. I could use lime. Where could I put all these limes? Duplicate skills. The farmer has gotten smarter. Exosuit training. Mechatronics. Engineering. You get a cool new hat. Oh yeah, you can give the duplicates hats based on their jobs. It's very cute. Alright, what am I working on? I think I'm gonna play for like maybe about 10-15 more minutes because I can feel my brain freezing up from all the yapping. But that's cool. That's normal. We got a lot of progress here so far. We dug down into the oil biome. I don't know if it's actually called the oil biome, but it's the biome that has oil in it, and that's the main reason I'm here. So wait, we're running out of beds. Oh, is this guy like stuck again? Doesn't tell me you're stuck again. Okay, no, I don't think you're stuck. You shouldn't be stuck. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this power line here because these tiny baby power lines only have a power amount of 1000 watts, and we're going to put a bunch of heavy machinery down here. It's like in, wait, why did my music stop? Oh, my playlist ran out. Oh, that doesn't happen usually. All right, put on this music. I'm gonna put down some machine. It's like in Deep Rock Galactic where you have the liquid Morkite on-site refinery mission. That's my favorite mission. I just play that a lot. And I'm just gonna put a bunch of machinery here where the oil is gonna be quick and dirty, like pumped up here, used as a coolant, dumped back down, picked back up, boiled into petroleum, turned into plastic. It's going to make a bunch of heat, CO2, blah blah blah. It's going to be messy. This place is already going to be hot anyway, so fuck it. But I'm basically making a quick and dirty like industrial setup here to create the necessary steel, plastic, lime, diamonds, charcoal, etc. needed to build things like the aqua tuner and the steam turbine that I can use to make a clean, efficient setup. And then I'll build the proper setup like up here where I marked. Yeah, but until then we're gonna be breaking a lot of in space. There are no EPA violations. So down here, beep up, beep up, beep up. That's made of granite. No, that's wrong. That's sedimentary rock. Make this out of sedimentary rock. Yep. Also, we need, this is probably going to be a strain on our total capacity of metal because we're going to make a heavy watt wire now that goes down to here. Bonk. Oh, damn, that was like 10,000 gold. Yeah, that's going to be a big strain on resources. Set this to a higher priority so it happens. Okay. Because we're going to need a lot of machinery that takes a lot of power. 3% at max would be deconstructed. As in like the water deconstructed? That's kind of crazy. Even 3% sounds crazy. I could probably... Nah, some of this I need to just like mine out, I think. Build some solid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna use gold here instead of like copper or iron because gold in this game has got a higher I don't know what the word is. Melting point? Melting point is the wrong word, but it's functionally the same word in this. It's basically like it is the temperature where the machine doesn't stop working because it's too hot. So it's like a step below melting point. Like melting point is like it's gone, but it's like the machine hasn't broken down because it's too hot. That's the main part. So I'm gonna build a metal refinery here. This is going to require oil that comes up. It's gonna go into here, and then the excess oil that's hot. Let's just dump it in the sea. This is a classic. This is a classic British petroleum moment. Oh, we got some excess oil, some excess byproducts. Let's just dump it in the rivers, you know. Classic. Get that. Let's also get a rock crusher so we can crush the fossils that we find down here into lime. Let's also get a kiln so we can turn some coal into refined carbon. So we need refined carbon, limestone, and iron to make steel. And we basically want to make a dirty like steel setup here. H dirty. H fucking dirty. Let's put a storage bin there as well, just so we can store some stuff there. And down here, we're gonna need oil refinery. Let's also have a liquid reservoir made of gold. Wait, let me just double check. What did I make you out of? Oil refinery. Yeah, you're made out of gold. Okay, good. You're made out of copper, you're gonna break. Goes into here, this goes into here, then polymer press. Give this like a little block because it's going to create steam and that's going to condense the water, and I don't want the water falling down into here any more than it already has. So then I have to make separating tools to separate the different liquids, and that's going to be a pain, so I'm just not going to do it. I just forget about my problems and then hope they go away. Beep, 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 beep. Alright, cool. This thing is also going to output CO2. We're going to... It might be a little bit too cramped in here to just dump the CO2 into the atmosphere, so instead we're going to dump it into a gas reservoir. And then dump the gas reservoir into the atmosphere. That way, if it overpressures, it has like an area to like backlog. Someone is trapped. Oh, how did you... Points at you. How did you get yourself stuck here? Like, I can get you out, but I'm just gonna ask you real quick. How did you get yourself stuck here? Oh, you were building this here, and you went down and decided to build on this side, not knowing how to get out? Look at this guy. Look at this silly goober here. He's got nothing going on in his head. This guy has got 7 PhDs in constructing things. He ain't got a clue how he's gonna survive. That's all up to me. And let me just say, it's not going to go well. Oh yeah, this requires a certain skilled errand proficiency. This diamond means that you need to have hard digging level 1 in order to get through it. You're a builder, you can't do that. I need to get a miner over here. There we go. Miner number 1 saves the day. Miner number 1. Builder number 4. Oh no. Don't give me them salt water in here. Yeah, sheesh. Yeah, we can do a little bit of salt water as a treat. Just chug the salt water. It's like an energy drink. It's got plenty of electrolytes, natural salts. Alright, let's give this a higher priority so it gets done. The good thing is, like, later on in the game when you have like enough duplicates and like a lot of the main stuff done, is you don't need to like be like, hey, I need this done, priority 9. Like, you can just build something and immediately they start building it because I've got nothing else to do, which is the nice thing later on. But until then, they've got a lot of things to do, which actually usually in a regular game I'd be mining out everything and being like, all right, let me just mine out all this and get all the iron and like steel and wolframite. I don't even know what wolframite is, if that's even like a real metal. I'm gonna look that up. Where are you? There you are. Wolframite. It is real. Wow. Wolframite is an iron, manganese, and tungstate mineral with a chemical formula of I don't know what that means. I'm scared. Is the intermediate mineral between furbanite, hubinite, and scheelite. Okay, this is geology stuff that I don't know about, but okay, it's a rock that's got a lot of important minerals in it. That's cool. I thought wolframite. It's like it's got this ain't got wolves in it. I was lied to. Where is it? It's usually in the cold biomes. There it is. This is wolframite. I don't know what that's turned. I think you can refine it to turn into something. Maybe it's one of the things that I just read and immediately forgot. Who knows? We have mined some. So let's see. Yeah, wolframite to tungsten. So you can make tungsten in this game. I don't know what the purpose... Okay, the purpose of tungsten is that it has a plus 50 degrees centigrade overheat temperature, high thermal conductivity, and thermally reactive. Thermally reactive materials require little energy to raise temperature and therefore heat and cool quickly. Okay. So you would want to use this to make like a metal pipe that you would use to like transfer the heat between like the coolant and the atmosphere. Oh my god, I just sounded like I was smart just then. This game is working. Play this game, everyone, and it will make you smart. Even me. I'm doing my part. Alright, let's get this thing built. And mine out the oil biome. Right, I'm gonna... what's this material? Igneous rock. Igneous rock. Up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's perfect. That leaves me a 2x2 down there. Find all that diamonds, the demon days. And that leaves me a space to put like a liquid pump there. Ideally I want to make the liquid pump out of steel, but because I don't have steel yet, I'm going to make the liquid pump out of gold and hope for the best, and then later on I might have to replace it with a steel one, but I'll be fine, right? Yeah, I'm going to put the slowest point so I just mine out this area, the oil falls down, and then it like settles. I'm just going to check something real quick because I forgot something. Germ overlay. Okay, we're good. We're good. Because, yeah. You see all this blue here? That's a spore kid. It is a very scary looking plant, and it creates a type of germ called zombie spores, which well, if a duplicant gets zombie spores, bad things happen. So there are ways you can deal with getting that disease. I don't want to deal with this disease, so any pockets of zombie spores, I'm just gonna leave there for now. I might deal with that later because who knows, it could be fun, you know, when in Rome, contract some zombie spores. Whatever happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas. But yeah, otherwise I don't want to accidentally hit a pocket of zombie spores when I'm not prepared for it. Using gold because you don't have steel seriously. Yeah, gold is like the most like higher, like because like let me look at this. So plumbing, liquid pump, copper, it's got a 10% decor bonus. People like things made of copper. It's shiny, it turns to green, it patinas. Iron ore, it's standard, it's no real change. Gold, it's also got a decor bonus, but it has a plus 50 degrees centigrade overheat temperature, so it can tank a little bit more temperature. Wolframite is like higher, more thermally reactive, so if I want to like if I want to make temperatures jump between two different things, then I want to use tungsten. But gold is like I mean, I could use steel, but I don't have steel. I need this to make steel, so gold will work, it's fine. I don't know how well gold works in this situation in real life. I know gold is like quite soft and it's used in like electronics and stuff. Like I think computers probably have a small amount of gold in them, I imagine. But I don't know if you would make something that is in 80 degrees centigrade temperature out of gold. Maybe gold plating? I don't know. It doesn't in my brain it doesn't make sense because gold is very like fragile, so I don't know if you can like make a gold amalgam gold like composite that isn't fragile and is like useful, but it just doesn't make sense in my head. It sounds like a bad idea to make a pump out of gold, but then again I don't know anything. Okay, so we're just gonna dump the CO2 in the sea. Oh no. And tuned. So I want you to be full of yummy lime. Give you a priority 7. But also full of actually it's gonna fill up with coal really quickly because we have a lot of coal. Iron ore. We're gonna want to make, like, we have 19 tons of iron ore. That's nice. We're gonna make a bunch of iron ore. Then we're also gonna make steel. And then we're gonna have this one turn fossils into lime. And we're gonna have this one turn coal into refined coal. I don't know how much I need. I'm gonna say 15 orders. Me puts it on a little like post-it note and turns back to the chef in the corner. Hey, we need 15 orders of refined carbon. Guy about to put a bunch of coal on his frying pan. I hate this job. And then this refinery will give it like a higher priority. When the oil comes flowing in, the oil must flow. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'll give all this stuff like, let's go with a priority of 7. Just so I can leave 8 for like, oh shit, fix this, and 9 for emergencies. Okay, cool. We got a lot of stuff set up. I think I'm gonna call it here because I can feel my brain like turning into TV static. I've been doing this for like 2 hours. I've been yapping and it's been very fun, but I'm going to tone down my brain so I don't turn it into soup. Thank you, Fireback, for being in the stream and chatting. It's always nice to have someone to chat to about what I'm doing. But I'm gonna call it here and save my brainstem. I hope you have a good night, and I'll see you whenever I have the energy to do another stream.